God, it's Friday. Welcome to the show. I am Mariah Afolabi Brown as always. I have the ladies with me. Hello, how you guys doing?
We're good.
We're good.
Amazing.
We're fine.
How you doing, Elijah?
I'm fine, thank you.
I like your pinky.
Yes.
Thank you.
We love
And my
your
dress is
outfit.
thanks to Mariah.
Oh, please, Nima.
I mean, look at
It
this
was
dress.
made
Really pretty.
Yeah.
perfectly for me. I don't know how this was bought
Well,
for
and me
Mariah,
as
but
well.
this-
Just like you got them.
You're tall now. There's a benefit to being my height.
How you
You can
doing?
fit into anything.
Plans for the weekend? Anything?
Yes, it was my baby's birthday yesterday, but today is Shebo Timo's birthday.
Oh, happy
She's 40 today. Chef Shebo Timo.
I know that she was all smiling.
Our kuli expert, our chicken supplier,
Kokoro expert.
Kokoro
Your
expert,
plug for
supplier.
plug for everything, actually.
Everything.
God bless your new age, Baltimore.
Yes.
She's been hustling, and I pray God this new year, God would grant her expedite success
Amen.
in all the fields she's involved in.
Okay.
I really felt the need to pray too. Yesterday, my baby turned 17. So, Auntie Bimbo's first daughter.
Okay, that you
was-
raised.
That I raised. She's graduated. They did, what do kids do for the girls when they're leaving? And I saw that I was just crying at home.
Oh.
Yes, they had I think a valedictory or something service event for them. And she was doing live videos. I was like, this is my small baby. Then we used to take her
I
to
was
Daystar
watching
crèche.
everything.
She was such a baby. And then when she started talking, she would get away with anything. And Nima, you're so prettiful, just to get her way. I love the
prettiful.
word. Yes, I used to call her prettiful Aisha. I still call her. She's such a big, beautiful girl.
Happy
Happy birthday,
birthday,
Aisha.
Aisha.
I know you're watching. She's my #1 fan, unlike her mother. Happy birthday, darling. Yes.
How you doing, Tokwe?
I'm good. So yesterday was Akeade Olafosi, my paddy of life's birthday. Akeade is a very resourceful person, always useful, always available to help out. And I pray God bless your birthday. I missed it yesterday. I'm so sorry, but it's never too late. Also, plans for the weekend. We're not doing anything because of COVID, so I've been finding ways to sneak in my cousins. I just told my cousin, like, just come, come and spend the night. Come and spend the night. She was sending me a message that she'll come 6 p.m. today. I'm like, no, come like around 4 p.m. So we'll do like movie with the children. I'm grateful to God for the opportunity to be able to host family members, and I'm looking forward to this weekend with my cousin and her daughter. It should be fun. It really should be fun.
That's nice.
Cool. How you doing, Mariam?
I'm fine, thank you. So for me, I don't have any shout-outs today. And really, I just wanted to also banter. So I've gotten to the stage, or my daughter has gotten to the stage where the puppy love for me is sort of fading. Hey, can you imagine that? So now I'm big. She judges
Serious
me.
conversation.
She asks me questions like, I'm like, where's all the I love you forever and forever and everything I do, does not matter. And then there's this big loving relationship she's having with her dad right now. I'm like, it's so uncomfortable for me. I didn't even know what to do. I had to put her there. I was like, I am. I did not realize that this can ever happen to
And
me.
then your daughter is so cute. There's no way you don't really want to get her to hug you. Emma is so
As she writes, she's like, the way someone is with me, I really don't want that to happen because I am.
This battle with her dad.
Me, I can't even claim my last child because I think it's 50-50 love. I cannot say he loves me.
He runs to
No, it's
too young,
50-50.
you know.
It's 50-50. He loves us equally.
I even asked her a question. I said, which of your parents would you like to be more like? I said, more like daddy. Because daddy walks out every morning. I want to be more like him. I'm
Oh my Lord.
See your life in the open.
Life happens.
Life
happens. That's
Oh.
It's normal
Well.
for girls. Girls, I just know that feeling.
Daddy's girls have
I'm a daddy's
been.
girl.
Oh.
I just can't help it.
I
What
don't
will
think
I
my
do?
girls are
about
daddy's girls though. I think they're right now.
You won't know now.
They're really connected
Eventually.
to me.
Okay,
They
now.
really want to be around me, learn from me. Every day just wants to be around me. The boys are 50-50.
Yeah.
My boys are 50-50. In fact, the little one, you'll be surprised. He's always crawling up to his dad. I'm like, oh girl. I'm crawling up to me.
I'm deliberately trying to hug the twins because the little one is a huggy person. But I realized that I saw one of my husband's friends' kids and they're like 13 and they're so he's so tall. I know my kids will be that tall. And it's this air of maturity, like he's not talking to anybody. And he's like feeling like I'm an adult already. I say, these ones that are still are still within reach. Come, let me hug you. Let me be hugging you so that you get used to the fact that mommy needs your hug. You should always hug mommy. You never grow too old to hug mommy.
Okay, so let's go right into our paper review. We're going to start with The Nation. Jonathan Jegan Ogbe disagree on restructuring. Everybody had the different opinions. Stolen government property found in Okorocha's warehouse. For real?
Yes, so.
More support for Ondo's quit notice to herders. Terrorists didn't overrun the military base, says Defense Headquarters. African Development Bank forecasts Africa's loss to $409 billion to COVID-19 in 2 years. And LIRS to employers file tax returns by January 31st.
Please let me take the Okorocha story.
Okay, go ahead, please.
It is extremely dramatic. So the governor of Imo State had his people check out one of Okorocha's warehouses, and they found out that he had properties of Imo State inside his personal warehouse. They said there's a particular Unsu ceramic and tiles manufacturing equipment and mold that was purchased for Imo State by the former governor, Samumba, and that they found out all this equipment were in his personal warehouse, that it was based on the information that some Imo loyal citizens gave them, that the properties of Imo is in Okorocha's warehouse. Okorocha wants to set up, former governor Okorocha, allegedly according to the Imo State governor, wants to set up a private ceramic tiles business using equipment that belong to Imo State. They also found street light equipment, other plants and all of that within his facility.
Who has the LIRS?
No, I don't have, but the Defense Headquarters, or do you want to take that? Okay, Defense Headquarters has said that there's a story going around that last week, between January 15th to 16th, that Boko Haram and ISWAP had overrun the military base in Marte in Borno State, but the Defense Headquarters saying that's not what happened. That what happens, this is like a military, so they're giving us how it works, military strategic move. So they came, the terrorists came towards a military checkpoint, and that what to do strategically, they moved further in so that they could capture the Boko Haram,
closing on them.
The terrorists. Yeah. So they closed in on them. They were able to kill some. So many trucks and ammunition were also recovered during that raid. So it was not that they overran them, but it was a strategy deliberately carried out by the military.
All right. Okay, let's move on to Vanguard. Farmers, drivers, forest guards in protest. The protest rally for Akeredolu. COVID-19 vaccine, Africa in danger of being left behind, says WHO. Biden lifts Trump's immigrant visa ban on Nigeria and other countries. Atiku asks him to help Nigeria fight terror. Out-of-school children dropped from 10 million to 6 million in 2020, says federal government. COVID-19 vaccine alarm, you are on your own, governors tell Bello. And Jonathan differs with Nwodo, Jega others on restructuring. Okay,
so out-of-school children, you know, we had the hot topic on the Lagos State saying we have about 24,000 not in school, but the federal government said their own difference. Say, according to the Minister for Education, he said that at the annual briefing that they have the out-of-school children dropping, so they have more enrollment in school, trying to defend the loan from the World Bank. That this boosted, some of the other policies that they had boosted, children returning to school in 2020. The thing can't shock me because we're in COVID. We know some of these factors. I would love that, he is able to debunk the factors, including COVID discouraging some parents to take their children to school, the lockdown, and some children becoming engaged.
Sometimes when I remember in 2020, we had the issue with the Ministry for Humanitarian Services, and they were supposed to be providing food for children at home. So they were not in school, they were at home. So is it just the number of people who are registered
when I hear this kind of reports, because I've been in the educational sector, I also know that there are a lot of international grants that is dependent on this kind of reports. So sometimes they come up with these figures so that, okay, it's working, give us more, so there are different reasons for this kind of information. We need to take this kind of information with a pinch of salt. We're not sure. It doesn't sound accurate.
Yeah, but I want to take the World Health Organization.
Go ahead.
So World Health Organization is raising an alarm concerning Africa. And our lack of, acquiring vaccines. What has happened is, the World Health Organization says about 50 countries, most of them high-income countries, already have these vaccines and are already administering them to their people. But nearly the whole of the continent, except for maybe Guinea, that's acquired vaccines. And even Guinea has only vaccinated about 25 persons alone. Seychelles is the only other country within the continent that is doing like active vaccination campaigns. There's also a fear that there's a hoarding, that they're hoarding vaccines, and what it's doing also with the bilateral trade, the prices are going up. This will affect Africa, especially given our death rates, which has already surpassed the global average, you know, around the world. So those are their fears.
Right.
And
Africa might be left behind.
Africa
In a related story, the NGF chairman, Governor Fayemi of Ekiti State, was saying that Governor Bello of Kogi State is on his own, because he had said that we shouldn't take the vaccine because they are there to kill us. And he's saying that the governors will make the decision on vaccine based on scientific approach and resolution, that they're not going to depend on hearsay from anybody, but he's on his own, and they are going to wait for those scientific evidences before they begin to administer the vaccines for their people. Okay, let's move on to the Punch. Calls for restructuring. Go to National Assembly. Presidency tells ACF Nwodo Adebanjo as agitation spreads. Court jails Ondo pastor for 2 years for lying against church founder. Drunk cop killed my 2 children with APC, says Oshun wife. El Zakzaki's wife contracts COVID-19 and undergoes treatment in prison. Nothing wrong with godfathers in Nigerian politics, says minister. FG releases 6.45 billion to establish 38 oxygen plants. And U.S. in-flight passengers will present COVID-19 results, says Biden. Okay, which story are we taking?
Let me start with El Zazaki's wife. So Zina Ibrahim, the wife of El Zazaki, who is being detained presently in a facility in Kaduna State, has tested positive to COVID-19 a second time, January 20. So she has had COVID before in prison, and she wasn't taken to an isolation center, not treated, and she's had it again. Now, I would expect that our lawyers will file an urgency, an affidavit of urgency, to try and see how her bail or release terms will be discussed quickly. But besides that being done, is there a way administratively that they should take her, which is the right thing to do, to a proper treatment center for this kind of special strain or special kind of virus killing people? Why are they treating her in prison? Besides that, again, other people are being exposed to catching that virus because people are around her. I don't think the prison is the right place to keep a COVID positive patient for any reason.
It shows that there must be a COVID outbreak in the prisons as well.
Okay, I was going to take the major headline concerning restructuring. So most of our leaders, Afenifere, Nwodo, and all that from different groups have said that restructuring obviously is required, is what we need at this time. However, our former president, Jonathan, differs. He said that he believes that the amalgamation of the northern and southern Nigeria is not the problem. According to him, we need to restructure our mind. He said that there's a lot of politicking happening in politics, and that is actually what's causing the instability we see. That the current structure is not the problem, but it's the politicking of our minds, of hating each other, that is causing the division that we see today.
I want to take the story in the Sun, but let me just add to this so we just take it straight up. He also mentioned the fact that it's tribalism and nepotism, and that those are the bedrock of our challenges. He raised the fact that local government chairmanship election are rarely won by opposition, even councillorship rarely won by, that if we can't have democracy at that level of local government, it is not really about restructuring that is the problem. It is about dealing with the issues that are fundamental, and that until we deal with them, restructuring on the surface will not solve the problem. And I think we should listen to him. But it sounds very, very 2023.
Yeah, but I think also, I somewhat differ, because I think, going by what you said this week, that America plastered this issue of racism for many, many years. I would say at least centuries. I would say at least a century, and now we're seeing that this their fragile democracy was challenged just by one leader in the last 4 years. So if we keep trying to say, okay, we are together, we are united, we are brothers, and there's this embedded problem of division.
I think you're agreeing with him.
So
that's what he said.
What he's saying is that we can still stay together and fix the problem. I'm saying maybe we need to have a proper restructuring where any local stay where you are.
He's saying that just restructuring will not solve the issues of nepotism,
I think you're misunderstanding what
racism.
She is saying
we
separate.
can, yeah.
Yes.
Separate my
suggestion.
yeah.
Yes. Everybody, but however, we still have that true federalism, the regional structures. You know, you have control of your resources. At the same time, we still have a relationship. So I mean,
but he's saying even on that local, regional level, there are still issues because even local government chairmanship elections are not done free and fair, where anybody can aspire and win, down to councillorship. So there are still issues that we need.
I think it's worth discussing and hearing. I can't wait till our phone line starts
I
working.
wanted
I would even like to talk to Jonathan. I really would like some talk to him.
Yeah, let's take Daily Sun. I'm not taking Daily Sun actually.
Okay.
Nigeria gets to get COVID-19 vaccines next month. I thought it was January. Imo Uzodimma Korocha trade blames over warehouse. Jonathan's lists Nigeria major challenges. Biden lifts visa ban on Nigeria. Others.
Interesting.
Super Eagles ex-coach Joe Erico dies. Disunity will cost Southwest presidency, says Yoruba leaders. Yes, Nima, you're going to take.
Okay, so you took the story already. The governor, the chairperson of the NGF, the Nigerian Governors Forum, yesterday said that brief member about their collaboration with the chairman of the board of Global Alliance for Vaccines and Immunization, thankfully in our own, Dr. Okojo-Iweala, and saying, they also have an arrangement with the WHO to facilitate and procurement and equitable distribution of COVID-19 vaccines across developing countries. Nigeria is among 12 countries in Africa that have indicated readiness for the vaccine for next month. When the other countries have already, made this plans. And it's also restated that the first people to take the vaccines to reassure Nigerians of the credibleness of it will be the.
I know
they are not doing a good job.
Yeah, they've only vaccinated 60 million are here.
No, the US already they're almost done with their frontline workers.
But I'm talking about what I read in the papers
already.
is that they've only done about 16 million right so far.
Yeah,
And
but
they're still
they
having issues with distribution.
prioritizing
They're prioritizing their people
workers.
before we
We're
start
still
getting
losing our own.
from
Please let me take LIRS story. The LIRS has made announcements within Lagos State that companies within Lagos should file their income and employee tax because the timeline is January ending. That's the 31st of January. Saying that they don't do physical filing anymore. There's an online platform that was launched in 2019, and that's the only way for filing, but it's convenient. Everybody can do it from the comfort of their home. So the excuse cannot be for COVID issues. You can do it from the comfort of your home. On the LIRS website, you can file your returns.
Right. There was an NIN story I thought was important.
Yes.
NIN.
So the Minister for Education again has compelled that NIN number now is a requirement to registration for JAM, and that is not a new law, but it's not a federal government policy, and is now compulsory. And we know JAM is just around the corner. I'm just wondering. Why now? Why is it now?
Well,
because this again, along with the phone linking, would just worsen the rush for it.
Unfortunately, that's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, we'll talk about topics today. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. So, a tweet went viral saying that Africans should be the last people to complain about the COVID-19 vaccine. That if Europeans wanted to kill us, they would have done so a long time ago. That tweet went further to say the majority of the stuff we use come from the West, and the only thing Africans have been able to produce are babies. A lot of the Africans didn't find this funny. It came across as insulting, disrespectful, and condescending, I would say. However, others are saying, hey, maybe there's something to discuss in this. Maybe we really have nothing to fear concerning the vaccine. And maybe indeed, if the Europeans wanted to kill us, they would have done that with all the products we already import from them. What are your thoughts on this? I would love to hear you. Unfortunately, our phone lines are still down, but you can reach us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your TVC so we can read your tweets. You can also reach us on Facebook. Please share your thoughts. We would like to read them. When you read this, Nima, what are your thoughts? What were the initial thoughts?
when I looked at it, I just remember the proverb in Auchi that so our people, when you feel insulted, sometimes you should go into your corner and really, really check yourself. Is that thing on your body? If somebody calls you K-leg, look in the mirror. Is your leg K? So that you know next time to insult yourself before you're insulted. We couldn't even, with all our drug boards and everything, since when COVID came into the country in February, do something concrete till 2020. We waited it out till now, even with the plenty resources, herbs, drugs, all, you know, natural resources that come from Africa and exported abroad. We couldn't try our hands at something that we can hit our chest and say, with this thing, we have at least a 40% trust in our own that, you know, try it on. We are surviving. Our people are surviving. We cannot lay our hands exactly on why we're still guessing whether it's our gene, our diet, or something. We just don't want to trust our mental ability. I think YK said something about us, you know, not why something that we could produce yesterday on the show, and I was saying to myself, yes, before these tweets now dropped, that we should try. Our board, and this abroad, we buy everything from abroad. Our health board failed at checking. Our manufacturer standard board, they failed at ordinary checking. And we are wondering now that whether vaccine is now something we should worry about. Now, one thing will kill man. If the COVID doesn't kill you, the vaccine will. But we don't have the mouth to say we don't want one above the other. The vaccine, the virus came, nothing, we just left our people to herd immunity. If you survive, you survive. If you don't survive, we could not even give our people proper palliative to keep them at home away from the virus. So I think we don't have the moral
there are so many layers here, because we talk about palliatives. I mean, many governments cannot afford that consistently. Initially, they did the first one, but that consistent palliative for community is difficult. Now, going back to the issue of vaccine, yes, we don't have the capacity as a nation to develop our own vaccine, and we've been using a lot of vaccines from them. So my question, therefore, is why is this issue of COVID-19 vaccine such up for conversation? Because we've been hearing online there's an agenda to depopulate the earth, all these different arguments here and there. In fact, Kogi State governor has not said, don't take the vaccine. And the other governors say, you're on your own, no, please. Because if the vaccine comes, if there's scientific backing for it, we'll take it. But what are your thoughts on this when you heard this? Especially somebody insulting Africans, saying that, listen, you cannot, Sabi, do your own. We want to give you, you're not saying that that you don't want to take it.
Yeah,
it was a major, it was very, very, very condescending and insulting. There's no other way to say it. Even if it was a black person that said it, it was major. It was like, like, people are making money. Let me give it to you from every side. So what she said was a fact, though, that our lives we cannot, that it was to debunk the conspiracy theory, and that's what I want to address. There's a conspiracy theory that the vaccines would lead to deaths of human beings, and it might have side effects that they have not scientifically proven yet. So conspiracy theory is not a fact. And what is a fact is people are dying from COVID in Nigeria and around the world. That's the fact. So if there is a vaccine that has been tested and is being administered around the world, and we have opportunity to bring it to Nigeria, that it will not in any way, we have the facility to effectively distribute it. I believe that Nigerians should have access to the vaccine, especially our frontline workers, the health workers, especially old people with pre-existing condition. In order of that priority, I am not going to be in a hurry to get vaccinated. I will continue doing my agbo and taking vitamin C and all of that, because I am not in the risk boundary. The people that we've had statistics on the people that have died, they are older and they have pre-existing conditions. We've had issues of, even young doctors have been able to catch it, they survived it. So, but in protecting them, we should protect them. However,
that's not true again. That's not true again, because recent young people have died. Let's not make that factual.
But what I would say though is that, can we just, as with a vex, as they pain us, can we realize what she just said? That we are not producing, even the Africans, the baby food that we are taking is not produced here.
Hey,
Milk, sugar, everything is not produced here.
No,
you cannot blame. They're imported. They're still imported ones. You cannot blame. You were saying the manufacturer and SON.
We can't meet
Even the custom had to cry out that scanners are not working at all our borders, so they cannot even check. So when we are complaining that we are insulted by a tweet, we should look at ourselves. Have we not deserved the insult? Can we now let the insults provoke us into action? So I think that we should let that insult go viral even much more, so that our leaders can realize how we are being seen.
Okay, I hear you, but I still have that issue. I don't like it when I'm tired of hearing Nigeria say leaders, leaders, leaders. Because it just makes the conversation, the same Nigerian mentality. I can go to sleep because it is them.
Leaders.
You see, if we all realize that we're all in this together, if all of us don't begin to, you that are saying that are they not smart enough to go and get scientists, you self leave what you're doing and go and read and go and become the scientist. Can't you leave your primary? Let me make my point, please. The point I'm trying to make is that all of us have a stake in this country. So if we are waiting for one governor to be able to create a scientific lab for you and import scientists to now find a cure, to buy a vaccine for you, you're going to wait forever. We also, why don't you leave your own work you're doing right now and say, you know what, I'm going into the farms. I want to go and start testing because I want to be the part of the solution. Because we are all in this together. If they want to, if there's a real agenda to depopulate the earth, honey, we're first to go.
So, I think, like for America, they had a leader that said to them, think not what America can do for you, but what you can do for your country. And I feel that that is what they have based, like many things that they do for themselves in countries like that. They understand that it starts with them. And no matter how small or how little, whatever contributions, that you have a contribution to make, and it's your collective contributions that actually do make a change. We see how people come together and insist on changing a policy, insist on, and it's not easy. So for us, I believe we have this mentality of the easy way out. The moment it becomes uncomfortable, the moment where maize and tear gas is thrown at us, everybody disappears into their holes, and then we start looking for who to blame. The truth is that if we want anything to change in our country, we have to do it ourselves. Concerning this tweet, yes, it is insulting, but it feels very insulting because it's true. Imagine if someone used to say to me before that, if someone says, look at you, you're so tall. I am so tall. Do you understand? The thing is, Nigeria is very good at blaming. Oh, they are insulting us. How about them? A lot of things that has happened in America recently concerning their democracy and their government, I've heard people use it to sort of
console ourselves.
Not console ourselves, to justify our bad behavior. Like, well, if America is going through that, please don't even come here and tell us anything. After all, it's bad even there. And that is what we keep doing. We need to learn, apart from what we create, we need to also learn how to push. There are many local people doing a lot of things, but we do not give them the backing that they need. We do not give them the opportunity and the environment that they need to push this thing and make it mainstream. Everything that comes from Nigeria, everything good that comes from Nigeria, we dump it down, and that's the truth. We first dump it down first before we even look at it to see if it works at all.
All right, so let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue. As I said, I'd like to hear some of the thoughts of our viewers. As I said, I apologize, our phone lines are still down, but we'll definitely, please, like to hear from you. You can tweet to us. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still on the issue of the fact that this tweet came across as insulting, but others are saying, hey, are we going to tell ourselves the truth? Papa, you're going to say something.
Yes, because I feel that there's some things that we will take responsibility for as individuals, and there's some things that you just can't, there's nothing you can do. Government policy, government posture, the gridlock, like bottlenecks, bureaucratic bottlenecks that have been entrenched into our civil service makes it impossible for good well-meaning Nigerians to stand up and say, I want to make changes here. I believe this hospital can run better. I want to do this. It's not your job until you are a nurse. This is the job of the admin, and the admin is a doctor. You know, there are entrenched policies that the government needs to change. We need to free up the government. State governors cannot make decisions concerning their state without getting permission from the government. The bulk of the change we need still relies with political will of government saying, I would encourage you, go and do this. The Pfizer and the companies that have produced vaccines, they had money. The America and the Canada and the UK put money down there, produce it, and there's a market and there is money to buy it. So they knew what they were working towards. The few times Nigerians have come up to say, I have produced this thing, no, it will solve problem. Then you will now hear, go and find, even these universities produced UTAS that they felt was a better system for their payment structure, and the government created bottlenecks in implementing it. These are the things that make Nigerians feel like it is you people that is the problem.
But let me support Morayo quickly, because there's still that part of we. So you are the sitting professor to approve a young person's project. And this project will be a solution to a peculiar problem that person, you will look at this child and say that, did you follow my methods? Whereas your methods are archaic. You will not free your mind to new methods. So is that one government? You're sitting on it, but our federal universities of technology, our polytechnics have been so degraded by us. It starts with the person employing. You're coming with a HND. The person that has degree, who did theoretical, and the person coming with practical, you're putting them on a level that the person, the discrimination, and already you're destroying their mindset. And the person is looking at the person with a degree like you have two heads. We are the ones who will say, okay, in my own business, I don't care about that standard government has said. This is what I want. I want practical, pragmatic solutions to problems. Then there's also the part of us, we don't eat. We are not patient to wait through our mistakes.
I love that.
I was asking Miriam during the break that what is the name of that river in London? That river Thames. So my daughter loves science. She likes to watch this science fiction channel. She's always on it 24/7. And mistakenly, as I was cutting okra, I sat with her to watch this channel. They were talking about how London was infected by all forms of virus back in the days, that every single person in London, they were having diarrhea after diarrhea because they channeled their waste, physics, everything into River Thames. And until one science person, their leadership had to go and look for a science. Can you help us find a way where we can channel our waste straight before we send to the river? They still send to the river. They even channel straight to the sea now. Their waste still goes straight to the sea through a general system. But they suffered it through. They waited. They trusted their own person. If it's our own. We don't want our own industrial revolution.
So I think this is what has happened. I think this is what has happened to us concerning that. I like that you brought that angle, which is we tend to depend on other people to take care of, take care of our business. And what may have happened would be the colonialism, where we had them come in and then we always we always refer or defer to them for anything. For them, they had no one else. This is it. We have to sort ourselves out. So Nigeria, we still have that dependency culture. In Africa, we have that dependency culture where until the man out there fixes the problem. You know, you know that there's this, what do you call it now?
While you're trying to remember, because I was listening to Ibuku Awosika was saying that when she started her business, she insisted that she wasn't going to take her bribes. And she's going to earn her money legitimately. So this is something that every Nigerian citizen must take a decision as yourself. I'm not going to take bribe. I'm going to work legitimately. I'm going to do things the right way. There are well-meaning Nigerians who have tried, in fairness, to do things the right way. But the system itself, it goes back to what you're saying, it's quite endemic. Because the system in itself is frustrating. So that if we don't give that bribe, you're not going to move forward. So it's a two-pronged sword, a two-pronged approach. We, the people, must change, and the government must change the system. There's a governor, I'm not going to mention his name, but I know that he had that drive. I saw it, as I said, in the educational sector. And he started with the change in a particular area. Now, what he has done, I heard, based on what my colleagues are working with him, he's now changing the entire system such that let us have proper structures. Every department, tell me who reports to, give me an organogram. Because he doesn't want ghost workers. He's ensuring that he's been making, everything is done through a system. There's a process now. There's a portal where you do things. It's no more, I know person, and go here, carry form. No. Everybody go through the system, even if you're not educated. There are people to assist you on the system because he wants to be able to monitor what is coming in and out of the civil service. So this is just one governor with that drive that, you know what, I must change. And we need every single leader to also do the same thing.
Yeah, and I remember what I was going to say. You know, Sokwe, you were saying something about government also allowing for some things to happen. But the truth is that we determine government. In the end, it's about us. Yeah, if we decide to start recalling people, if we decide to start insisting that we would not take some sort of behavior from those who are meant to be our leaders, things will change. But we do not have... do you know, I don't even know which started first. I don't know if it was the system that eventually caught up with us, where it became such that we could not demand for what was rightfully ours from our leaders, or that, you know, or that we just became relaxed, or we just never understood our responsibility and our rights. That is where we are. Sometimes I also wonder concerning education, if it's a deliberate, a deliberate position by those we call leaders to keep many people in illiteracy and poverty so that they are unable to stand up for their rights. But for those who are enlightened, for those who are educated, for those who have pulled themselves in spite of all that is surrounding us, we have to do something much more than blame the next person or point our hands to who should do things for us.
There's something that pains me a lot when I think about it. When the Buhari government came into power, one of the things they did was, you know, to put a ban on, you know, medical trips or some form of trips by ministry and everything, and quietly just continue to change it. Nobody. There was just initial body language.
We talked.
Body language.
Follow through.
No, follow through. There was initial body language conformity, obedience, and small body language change, and we did not notice it. But as we speak now,
it has become
Nigerians of you know, of certain level are already traveling to Dubai for the vaccine. I don't know why I did not collect your own before you come. Do you understand? They don't even trust the vaccine that will land here, and we are still waiting for it to come. They believe that, I beg, let me quickly go and collect it. Somebody has died that I know. You know, and because we have those alternatives, we'll wait for long.
Even this issue of follow through.
You see?
You know, I mean, I was hearing, oh, Father, Lord Almighty, God bless me with a new house. Because I was hearing that 5 a.m., 6 a.m., that not, is it choir? It's prayer. Prayer.
No, those people on the street, evangelism. That's how we wake.
You know, and I'm saying to myself, this is totally wrong. But I now remember that the Lagos State government had announced it that you must. They shouldn't do that.
Yes.
But we follow through. You started well. Everybody said, okay, now we're now going to peace. But now they're back on the roads.
Well, they're still not so.
Is that issue following through?
Still, apart from the 112, the emergency number, there's still no particular number that you can call for that. I took a video of somebody who brought speakers because my place is still open. It's the junction. They used to come there normally and speak with their voice, but they brought speakers, loud music. At 4:30.
We're very good with policies.
So if you have a newborn baby, that baby
wakes up and you're and if you didn't sleep overnight and that was your time to sleep,
and you have to go to
somebody wakes you up.
So
I think that
find a quick number
the truth of this our COVID matter, which is a lot of people are tweeting, while COVID is clinical, I don't find it negative comments. Back to how we are dealing with COVID, it's still the follow through because we have many policies of you must wear nose mask, you cannot go somewhere without nose mask, but we're not following through and we're not spreading it consistently. And I know that it is two ways. The government will say, and then people will now help to entrench those statements into people's minds. But at the end of the day, it is body language. All through the swearing in, Joe Biden consistently, even I felt like, bro, Oga, you are with your wife, like it's you and your wife hugging each other. You are taking pictures. Can you just remove it? But when I said it, and people, the commenters kept saying that he deliberately wore the mask all through.
Exactly.
As an example. As an example.
People were calling them out for social distancing.
No. Listen, there was no social distancing there.
Yeah,
yes. Because online police, I know you are listening right now. Because every small thing now, they're not social distancing. Yes, they had their face masks on all through. I even saw 2 people remove their face masks for pictures. I saw it.
Biden took it off to take his vote.
So the point I'm trying to make ever is that life is going on. We let us be realistic. We are adjusting somehow, but it doesn't mean that you remove your mask or act irresponsibly. Act responsibly within the confines of the law, but at the same time, understand that life must go on. People would have their birthday parties, but social distance. People would go to churches and mosques, but social distance. Over there, did you see Obama? He hugged everybody that was huggable. But Michelle, my wife, Lady Gaga, they hugged.
But Mariah, that's what what we're trying to say. When
Yes.
people would say, if it's happening in America, then don't come and give me grief.
No,
that is it. When we go, when we say things like that, it's like, well, it's happening there. But the truth is, okay, we have used them as an example for when they have done right. Does not mean that we cannot be an example for something right that they can use as well.
Gotcha.
So for us,
I agree with you, Miriam. But
Very
the truth
good
is, the point I was trying to make when I watched that inauguration, I even had to go rewind it again, is that we are humans. And it's tough adjusting to when you cannot show love by touching.
yes.
So towards the end, I saw Kamala climbing the stairs after this, and was seeing some kids, black girls. I don't know where they belong to the same sorority, what they call that in but she kissed them all the way up the stairs. I said, because they're probably family, friends, and it should be. Let me just drop this standard. We will drop the standard sometimes. We on this table are not strangers to one another. In fact, the gist we have in the morning is closer than when we come on set. But some people don't have time. They will sit on their Twitter page and be saying social distancing.
We are distant.
Well, no, but you should know that we have a life outside this set. And that the fact that we work together every day should, drop the standard. We should not be made to form the standards because people are watching.
Let's go on a break. When we come back, I don't know how we move from the tweets.
Yeah, back to America.
COVID,
Let's go back to COVID. Stay focused on COVID. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So let's engage our viewers. Let's take a few tweets. Go ahead, Tope.
Ranting Mama says, Africa as a whole needs psychological revolution. We need to grow up. Drop the yoke of over-reliance on foreign countries for everything. Let us create roots for ourselves.
Talks Bambo says, we Africans should look inwards. We have the resources to come out with COVID-19 antidote. We should see the outburst as a challenge. We will fight ourselves. Olaboye says, Omololu says, we don't value what we have. Look at Innocent Motors. We don't appreciate it. We prefer the likes of Toyota. We don't appreciate our herbs. Our NAFDAC are not ready to sanctify our herbs. We believe in anything the white do, even if it's fake. And most of them sometimes
I saw someone sent a message somewhere. I read it, and she was saying that when you go to the stores in London, most of the garlic, the ginger, and everything is all gone from the shelves. This is what what a Nigerian would just walk, 2 steps away from your house, and you get and you use it. And they have vaccine, and they're also using things like that to help them. Nigeria, in the beginning when we were talking about this COVID, I remember the NAFDAC lady, she came and we were talking about she was talking about some Nigerians who were trying to find a cure or a remedy locally, and that they were looking into it. We never heard how that went. We never heard if, they needed more funds and, they needed more science, to help push it. We just quickly waited for vaccine. Let me just add one more. Remember we took, was it Seychelles?
Yes, Seychelles.
So we took their drink.
Yes,
in the end, it worked out that well. It wasn't really something. But their country stood with it in front of international television, and they pushed it with their, they supported them. Well, Madagascar drink.
Okay, so I just a thought came to my head that those of us who have a bit of education are probably the main problem of our country. And the reason why I say that, because when you have somebody, for example, travel abroad, come back and maybe you see waffles, you see sausages, you see these things that you like, right? You come back home. Instead of you to see how can we use our local resources to make a version, no, you import it. Now you're now bringing the taste, the foreign taste, you're bringing it abroad, and then we are not looking within. Let me get my point. We are the ones that brought in the cable TV. We are the ones that brought in all the things we see abroad, not looking within that. How do we develop our own? How do we make our own economy such that we utilize only what we have? No, we are the ones, because the poor man doesn't eat waffles. He doesn't care about it. He might not have cable. He's comfortable taking his ogi in the morning. He's comfortable taking his rice. He's comfortable taking his eba. He's fine. But you that are educated, you are the one whose taste buds are no more in wants those things. So you are the one that are actually the problem. of Nigeria's development, because you have actually internationalized our thinking and the way we see life.
So on this point that you made, yes, the educated people, when I was growing up, they made an effort to copy whatever they see there locally, but we had a mentality that whatever was foreign cannot be imitated. It's an imitation when it is done here. True. There was this cola drink, I'm struggling to remember the name. It was locally made here. It was a strong competition to the, you know, the main brands, these two main brands. And I used to take only that cola drink at the age of 10. Suddenly, that industry went down. The people who should fund by loan will not even fund the big man's business. The man himself was a one-man business. The son did not see the vision. Gradually, we will kill the idea, but that we don't have those people who constantly wake up every day with those kind of dreams and vision here is wrong. We do, but how do we jump and support our own? We always have the mentality that if it's not foreign, it's not comfortable. Did you see my dress? It just landed. You know, this abaya is made from Saudi. So when they make you boo-boo in the same shape of an abaya, you will look at it and say, Ankara ni.
You know, let me just add to that. Most of the time when you see African art or African clothing abroad, you would see them mostly in like museums, like art shops. It's not mainstream. It's not something, but in all fairness, I think many Nigerians, especially the young ones, are pushing hard to make Nigerian and Africanness mainstream. We've done that with our music. You know, we always refer to our music. We're doing that with Nollywood, with our fashion as well. It is.
So my question to you, Mariam, should Nigerians take a step back? Should we take a step back from taking international coffee?
No, Mariam.
Should we take a step back from all those things we do?
No, we can't do that. This is where we have found ourselves in the world. It's the 21st century. And honestly, it's a global village. We will have influences from different places. But we also need to push Africa, Nigeria, also to be part of the mainstream influence. There's a challenge going on social media called the Fufu Challenge. And you see Chinese people eating fufu with different soups. Some like it, some don't. But it's a conversation. People know us now beyond jollof rice. Oh, so there's something else. There's soup. There's something. So that's what we need to do.
So for me, I would say that, one, human nature is to be selfish. If there's no government policy, if there's no security, the human nature would... We saw what happened with NSAS. People took to looting. It's human nature to want to explore where there is nothing restricting you, no boundaries. It is, why would you stop me from drinking my American coffee or my Japanese green tea as I can afford it? But if the government makes a decision as a policy that I want us to grow, and we do lip service, no follow through, buy Nigeria, grow the Naira, it's been made policy, good people, great nation. We've had it reinvented in different forms by different information and ministers, creating brand reorientation, but they haven't, personally as leaders, followed through. When we see developed countries, they did the job. But it's not always the truth that it's only by closing your economy. Chinese closed their economy to grow. India largely closed their economy to grow. But Dubai didn't close their economy to grow. Dubai opened up their economy, created an enabling environment, said, if you are Chinese, you are American, you can help us grow and develop, come here. We would allow you work. You will have free trade zones. You can put in your buildings. You can do all of that. So there are different systems. The issue is we don't have, our government isn't ready to say this is the vision, this is how we're going to make it work. For us, we have enough resources within ourselves to create everything. But the government themselves need to choose that. We would only use innocent mottos. We would only wear Ankaras and we would only wear local, no more suits. Where local businesses don't say my weave on. Natural hair is fashionable. We must make it like
and I always, when you mention innocent, I'm going to go on a break very soon. I always like to give credit to TVC CEO. Because he's not a Nigerian, he's Irish. But he came here and automatically he wanted to buy cars. And he said, and somebody said, oh, they're Nigerian cars. Really? For him, it did not make any sense.
To go outside.
To go outside a Nigerian brand. It didn't even make any sense. He made sure all our official cars are innocent. Because that's somebody who's a foreigner
understands loyalty.
Understands branding, understands loyalty, understands that we must patronize within.
Patriotism is what he understands. And I want to say something to Nigerians. We should learn to forgive our locally produced mistakes. Because we always quickly say, it's not perfect, it's not of standard. We should follow through those mistakes. Imagine that I have an Ankara jacket. I insisted, Ashoke jacket. I insisted, I'm still looking for what to combine it with. But I took my Ashoke, instead of making it into a gele, since I don't wear gele, into a jacket. And when it came, I loved it. It's still hanging in my wardrobe. I'm looking at it. To a red carpet event, let's insist this will be the standard.
We do that.
We do. And we should forgive the mistakes. You know, when we sit down, we should be partial when we are the ones doing fashion policing.
Because
if our rice is not properly stoned, insist on the standard. Talk to the producer, but it's locally.
Yes, I agree with you. Because we have companies, foreign companies, car brands, they will recall. They make mistakes with their production. There are checks and balance. They recall. They don't stop the company. They don't stop. It doesn't mean they will not buy from the company next time. They will say, recall your products, and then we should create that system.
That's the problem, Mariam. Mariam is like, because your taste buds are totally acclimatized to foreign brands.
When you say forgive mistakes, we have been forgiving mistakes.
No, we haven't.
The only
going to break
okay,
when we come back, we'll talk about those things we've been forgiving and not forgiving. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. I'd like to wrap up on this topic.
Okay.
So,
yes, I was saying, Nima was saying that we should learn to forgive our mistakes. And I'm saying that, see, we have done many forgiving. And until there was competition, I did not see that, that discomfort within the Nigerian industry to improve on itself. So you have a particular tailor who sews outfits a certain way. And with time, things are improving, technology has improved, people are doing well, they're exporting. And this, your tailor tells you, that is how they, now so then they swam. Forever and ever. Do you understand? So for me, I don't think it's about forgiving mistakes. I think it's about provoking change, provoking improvement. We have we have some things that are originally ours. Find ways to showcase it in such a way that it's appealing not only to us, but everyone. The truth is that there has to be a funnel, like a mainstream funnel, to sell your culture, to sell your art, to sell your fashion, to sell your food. Understand that, understand the times, understand the technology, and improve that way. Because if we keep saying forgive, we'll leave everything at subsistence level. Nobody will eat it. Nobody will buy it. Just us, because we are trying to. Okay.
Because the countries that we now have their standard as our standard of checking ourselves forgive their mistakes. In those days, even till date, if you buy Chinese wires, you want to burn your house. Nigerian wires remain the best quality wires. They experimented with us. Yes, we know what wires are. But if we allowed our general culture to get to wires, we'll be burning our houses. Chinese, they don't know how to do wires, but they forget. I think they use their standards.
China products have improved. There used to be a time when you say Chinese products.
So you forgive through to improvement. So you have to grow, but then let's be patient.
But they had the competition to improve.
Well, I think let's take a few tweets and wrap up. Take a few tweets on this.
Okay. Akande Muritala says Nigerian executives should take it first. Let no one come and poison us indirectly. Joanna says, please check your history books again, or even go online to find out that China did not close her borders before she made economic progress. That's simply a big lie. Actually, millions, over 50 million people died during Chairman Mao Zedong's China's revolution. Akande Muritala says our leaders should lead by example. In a situation where they will be urging citizens to patronize local contents, whereas they order almost, if not all, what they use from abroad. How many Nigerian executives ride on innocent motors? And the way we are shouting innocent motors here, it's a shame. I think I may bold to say it, that our National Assembly, those people who who usually say, it's not me, it's the executive that is government. Those people had the opportunity to make a loud statement.
We are shouting Innocent should have given all of us
If you don't give me,
it's the only one that we have for now.
Oh God, you not see, if you are watching, give me a car.
Give us a...
It is my full chest that I will use to drive it. If I your brand ambassador will be ashamed of themselves when I drive it. Because it is something that we should be ashamed to say in our places, that we finally had one person who amongst all of us looking down at our industries failing, despite what was happening at the time, insist on doing something.
Yeah. I mean, he has, we have in TVC, we have the staff boss.
Yeah, everything.
All many of them got boss during the NSAS protest. But we have the staff boss. We have our directors are driving the one that looks like a... Like a G-Wagon that our director drives. They feel that the smaller cars, the sedan cars, the pool cars. So TVC identifies with the Nigerian brand. And I think many companies should. Because, you see, we must begin to look within, whether we like it or not.
And we must fund our economy.
Yes.
Because when the money circulates...
Unfortunately, Innocent is still bringing it from... He's still bringing it from abroad. But at least...
Government policies that suddenly killed the housing policies of Jakonde, such that an average civil servant cannot afford quality house. Only when you are politically exposed can you afford quality house. We do not have proper mortgages that can encourage us to have innocent brand new cars. Yes, they are locally produced, but you cannot just walk out there and go and buy it.
Because... Let me go back. Because we don't have a system such that I can track it. And that's what happens to the NIN number that we need now. Everybody must be able to be tracked so that if you go and get a loan to get an innocent car, I can track and track. You can't run away.
If I take a loan to get a car, of course I will put down certain things they can do.
Run away. Have you got to AMCON?
I was going to say, AMCON is looking for people.
So AMCON is not looking for poor people. AMCON is looking for the big people.
Big people. Thank you. AMCON is looking more for big people.
That is just an example.
What Nima raised as real estate, because this real estate issue is a major problem. Many real estate companies, private individuals that I'm always having conversations with recently, are personally creating mortgage system to solve our problem by themselves. Individuals funding homes. I know 3 companies that, at least one, give a 7-year mortgage plan, and you will own your home if you pay 50%. And I'm wondering, why are you doing this? He said, because there's obvious problems. So what is the government doing to support such people? Is the government policy must be there.
What are you putting there to represent you?
I want Federal Mortgage Bank.
What are we?
I want the Federal Mortgage Bank.
The sort of people we send to the National Assembly. Do they even understand what we're going through? Do they understand and in such a way to articulate what it is that we need? We had a young man here from your community to talk about the issues in that community and hear how he spoke about it. He went to school because of this thing. He studied it. He understands it. He lives within the community. He speaks about it. If we were to choose somebody to represent that community, you will be looking for one big man that has influence and connection.
Because he can afford the election.
The point I was trying to make is that, you see, yes, we all seem to have all the answers, but sometimes we don't all have all the answers.
Okay.
Now, the government has said, do your NIN. We are all here complaining. There's crowd. There's this. How can you announce it now? Jam is coming out. But the truth is that if we all have a number that can identify every single citizen,
it will help.
You now, the America that you all like, they have shared security number. You can get a loan. The ordinary cop, you can pay it instrumentally. Why? Because I can monitor. You can't default.
You're right.
So the point is that it starts from somewhere. Well, my problem with the government is that you're not communicating the benefits. If we're saying go and do NIN, just asking everybody to go and do NIN.
That's not the problem. The problem is not that they're not communicating the benefits. Nigerians understand the benefits. It's how, it is how you decide to go about it. Every America has social security number.
From birth.
Exactly. We get birth certificates, don't we?
Yes.
Why is it not something? Exactly. Why don't we get to that point?
We are trying to there's a decay we're trying to fix.
I get it. So now, this is where we are right now. You cannot tell me in a pandemic, grouping people and converging them in one spot is the best way to do about it. Just because NIN is important. You can take different centers to different places. Smaller cells. I have people register. See, let me just finish. The thing is, every time we say, this is important, when we criticize the government, we're not criticizing the whole thing in entirety. We're criticizing the methods that you're going, the timing, the methods that you're using. That's what we're doing. And then take from that criticism and make it better. Not that somebody is sitting down and saying, NIN is...
Okay, so I get that.
Finish.
The issue is not the COVID thing. You're right, absolutely. But we're saying people who are criticizing that why are you telling us now? The point is that we need information to tell you how important it is, such that even though you don't have it, you make sure you have it. Yes, Tokwe.
So, a solution for all the children being born, at least from 2021, the least that the government can do is to ensure every one of them on their birth certificate gets an NIN number registration. So what you do in the US is to have their footprint. When they get to like 18 or 21, or when they want to register their driver's license and all of that, they upgrade it with their fingerprint. It's merged into a database. We have the knowledge. The government needs to create a more holistic structure. I did NIN in 2013, but we did not implement that policy or follow through with it. Then we created BVN.
Yes.
So what exactly, it's that somebody just sits down and they will now cook up something and people would feel like it is a way to fund something else. When we did NIN, they set up offices. And then after a time, nothing happened again. Then we did BVN and then nothing happened again. Then we did all lives to be registered. Then nothing happened again. Then now you're bringing back and keep creating a timeline. The government we need to have a holistic dream that we are all blueprint that we're working towards comprehensively.
Miriam does solve the problem, and it's not rocket science. At birth, when you take your child, the BCG is still compulsory in Nigeria for babies at birth. So within the first week or first 1 month, no matter where you live, get your child to take the BCG. So when you go to the local government primary health care centers to take it, there's a person from the Ministry of what's it called, Interior, to do your birth certificate registration for you. Can you put someone from the NIMC to join that person, or you train that person to be able to do it for the baby? So that the baby is growing up, your mother has already solved you queuing up for your NIN.
Wait till they're about to write jam and tell them to
now say compulsory. I remember when NIN was introduced, they compelled every person of pensionable age to do it. I took my parents in 2013 to LASU to do it. It was the closest to them. And we queued up. It was still crowded, but they paid priority to older people. So I didn't do mine. I came later to do it in LASU.
Let us come back to our original, because we have traveled to the whole Africa today.
With this topic.
But let's go back to where we started from. We were insulted that the European vaccine would not kill Africans, because if Europeans wanted to kill Africans in the first place, they would have poisoned all the products that comes in. So the question, therefore, is, are we trusting the vaccine that is coming into our country, or are we going to wait it out and say, you know what, let's continue to protect ourselves? Or thirdly, are we going to wait till our own people get some kind of the African solution to our vaccine instead of taking the foreign one? That's really the question I'd like us to end up with.
So let me just jump and say that I would like our leaders in Nigeria to do what leaders in the Western world did, which is, you see Joe Biden, the Prime Minister for, what's his name, the Prime Minister in UK, all these major leaders did a deliberate showing us how they got vaccinated. So if all the ministers, all the National Assembly, they are all above 50, so they are all at risk. Many of them have pre-existing conditions, so they are all of them are at risk. So if all of them first queue up and get vaccinated, that is a show.
How do you know it's the same vaccine they're
getting?
That's
how I was going to go next.
So
we have to choose to trust something. And like those some people have said, they said that all our children get vaccinated anyway. Most of our children get vaccinated. So if they want to kill us, they'll have vaccinated the children and they'll have killed people they want to kill. So let's just first calm down. Let the leaders show exemplary leadership by getting vaccinated.
Let their family and their children.
So Governor Fayemi, for someone like Governor Fayemi who is willing to take the vaccine, I would like Governor Fayemi to take a picture of the vaccine.
From point of injection.
Take a picture of the vaccine you're about to take.
Do a video.
Back, so that I know that this is what you do. Show a video that you are removing it. The doctor is using the same vaccine on you. Is that big deal? I will now use to take the doctor. This one.
This particular vaccine
is the one that she took me.
Let us not Nigeria.
When something is established, it is established. Pfizer should not be producing the vaccine we are using in Nigeria.
That's a whole...
They can produce for another country. But because we were victims in the past, an established fact, our government should have been thinking that anything Pfizer don't even come close to.
What you are saying is a very, very strong point. But you see, you said it too late. Because we shouldn't be trusting Pfizer. They're the worst people.
I don't even buy their drugs again.
Another time, we have to round up. Mariam, let's take your last word so that we can
I'll take it.
Oh, yeah,
I'll take it. I'll take the vaccine.
Without proof, without anything.
I mean, there's already proof. I'll take it.
No, I'm saying like you just enter somewhere and say, "Yeah, give me vaccine."
No, not anywhere now. Even when I want to get drugs, I know the sort of pharmacies I go to, reputable hospitals and pharmacies.
Until I see a video, Shami, I won't take. Let everybody, even with Buhari's own self, make I see the one, record it. Let me see.
You sure President
Buhari is more at risk than me.
Are you sure you're not taking already?
All the politicians.
That's all we can take. Me, I will take the vaccine.
I will take
I want evidence that is what our leaders are taking is the same thing you are giving to me.
I will eventually, but I'll wait for the one that is not Pfizer.
Please.
You wait for Gavi.
Have a
fast. Okay, so there are other options.
Yeah.
So
do you have the money?
We cannot boycott Pfizer.
Does your country have enough money to shop for options?
in America now.
In America, but in Africa and Nigeria, do we have that as well?
Kano State must boycott Pfizer. Kano. They should take it.
I think we really need to talk about that.
Yes, we'll research more on it about it next week.
Let us.
We are here once, we killed your children, we are here, yes.
So even if we want to forgive, there must have been a policy that punished
a sanction.
Be actionable if our children within 10, 20 years show anything. Class action.
Yes, consign contracts. That's all we can take. Yes, we are very powerful.
Powerful Africans.
That's all we can take. Don't you mess with us, people. We are powerful Africans.
Wear your nose mask, guys.
Have a fabulous weekend. We'll see you Monday. Bye for now.